are discussing on the topic of disorders of vestibular system. Okay. So vestibular disorder, it is a peripheral and central. So in the peripheral, there is a Meniere's disease, vestibular disorder because of Meniere's disease, BPV, benign proximal positional vertigo, BPPV means, and vestibular neuritis, labyrinthitis, and vestibulotoxic drugs, head trauma, and perilimb fistula, syphilis, and acoustic neuroma. The central cause of vestibular disorders are vertebrobasilar insufficiency, posterior inferior cerebral artery syndrome, basilar migraine, and cerebellar disease, and multiple sclerosis, tumors, benign stem, and fourth ventricle, epilepsy, and cervical vertigo. So now peripheral vestibular disorder.
Excuse me, sir.
So first is Meniere's disease.
Excuse me, sir.
So it is because of endolymphatic hydrops and symptoms of Meniere's disease. Yes.
Sir, slide change भइरहेछ नि sir.
Yes.
Sir, हजुरको slide change भइरहेछ नि.
Slide के भयो?
So change भइरहेछ नि यहाँ अझै slide number 1 मै देखाइरहेछ sir.
ठीक छ. This is a vestibular disorder. Yes. So Meniere's disease, endolymphatic hydrops. It is because of endolymphatic hydrops. The symptoms for Meniere's disease are vertigo and fluctuating hearing loss, tinnitus, and oral fullness. Then second cause is peripheral disorder, benign proximal positional vertigo.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello? Benign proximal positional vertigo. So positional vertigo, no hearing loss and other symptoms, and causes of benign
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
हजुरको slide नै change भइरहेछ छैन.
Slide change भयो?
छैन sir, first slide मै छ.
Slide मा के छ? Hello?
Sir, the disorders मै छ के?
Just a minute.
Oh, first
के भयो? स्लाइड देखाएन?
Number 1
Hello?
स्लाइड देखेछ कि छैन?
स्लाइड देखे त छ तर चेन्जै भएको छैन के सर.
भएको छ हेर्नु त
भयो सर
Okay, then vestibular disorder are peripheral, central. So in peripherals, the causes of peripheral vestibular disorder, Meniere's disease, benign proximal positional vertigo, and vestibular neuritis, labyrinthitis, and vestibulotoxic drugs, head trauma, perilimb fistula, syphilis, and acoustic neuroma. The central cause are vestibulobacillar insufficiency and posterior inferior cerebral artery syndrome, bacillar migraine, and cerebral disease, multiple sclerosis, and tumors like benign and fourth ventricle, and epilepsy and cervical vertigo. So these are the peripheral and central cause of vestibular disorder. So in drops, the symptoms are vertigo, fluctuating hearing loss, tinnitus, and oral fullness. Now second cause is benign proximal positional vertigo. So positional vertigo, so there is a no hearing loss and other symptoms. Causes of benign proximal positional vertigo are head trauma, ear infections, and diagnosis is history and Hall-Pike maneuver. Now definitions: brief attack of vertigo as with nystagmus, patient by certain change in head positions and gravity. So most common cause of syndrome of provided vertigo. So lateral meaning, benign means self-limited, and proximal means sudden and unpredictable in onset, and positional means comes with a change in head position, and vertigo causing a sense of dizziness. So this is a definition of benign proximal positional vertigo. So now the causes of benign proximal positional vertigo. So it is a stimulation of superior semicircular hair cells and sequestrated otoconia. So otoconia, you look in the diagram, it is like a crystal of calcium carbonate embedded gelatinous otolith, membrane of utricle saccule, and canolithiasis, free floating otoconia, duct of superior semicircular canal, and capulolithiasis attached copule of semicircular canal. So this is the etiology of benign proximal positional vertigo. So change in the head position in place of semicircular canal, displacement of copula, directly capulolithiasis and indirectly capulolithiasis, and altered endolymphatic pressure, and copular displacement, vertigo, nystagmus in plane of superior semicircular canal, head trauma, vestibular neuritis, and progressive Meniere's disease and Cogan syndrome. So look in the diagram. So diagram is showing posterior semicircular canal and directions of view of straight lateral, and you look the otoconia where crystals of deposited in the utricle, and there is a displacement of otoconia in showing in the diagram. So now common with advancing age, and in behalf of all cases, benign proximal positional vertigo is called idiopathic. It is a 48% is idiopathic, and prolonged bed rest, and it is because of post-stapedectomy. Post-stapedectomy operations, patients may have benign positional vertigo, and ear trauma surgery. The inner ear surgery, it may cause the benign proximal positional vertigo. And another cause is ototoxic medication such as gentamicin. These are the causes of benign proximal positional vertigo. So now canolithosis theory, widely accepted theory, pathophysiology of benign positional vertigo. Otolith. Otolith means calcium carbonate particles are normally attached membrane inside the utricles and saccule. And utricle connected to semicircular duct, and otolith displaced from the utricle, enter posterior semicircular duct, much dependent of the 3 duct, and changing the head position relative to gravity, free otolith to gravitate longitudinally through the canal. And concurrent flow of endolymph stimulate the hair cells of the affected semicircular canal, causing the vertigo. So these are the pathophysiology of canolithosis. The clinical features of benign proximal positional vertigo: typical brief episode on head movement right to gravity, and provocative measures: rolling over the bed, getting in out of the bed, shoeless tying position, top self vertigo, backward looking up, and down dog position, yoga posture, use of shampoo ball in beauty parlors. Some patient constant dizzy, frequently attack intensity, and nausea and vomiting. No new hearing loss or tinnitus. In this case, there is no hearing loss. So type of benign positional, the type of benign proximal positional vertigo: posterior type, it is 85%, horizontal type 15%, anterior superior type rare, and multi-canal benign proximal positional vertigo is also rare. So now clinical features, characteristic clinical sign: nystagmus. Following diagnosis: Hall-Pike maneuver. Clinical signs: scenario: right posterior semicircular canal grow vertical, you look in the diagram, and head hanging positions, look in the diagram B. Stray otoconia, midpoint of semicircular canal, as lowermost point negative, fluid pressure excitatory, and amylofugal deflections, copula, and latent period several seconds, vertical torsional nystagmus, and quick phase upwards. So this is the clinical features. And classically, nystagmus 20 to 20 seconds, intense vertigo, patient inclined to shut eyes, upright position back, reversal of nystagmus opposite, and repeated attempt reduction intensity as vertigo, nystagmus, and duration of nystagmus is a 1 minute. So now come to the diagnosis of the vestibular disorder. First you take the history and physical examinations, vestibular and auditory test, and key observation. Dizziness is triggered by lying down, rolling, over in bed, and lab studies. No pathogenomic laboratory test for benign proximal positional exit. Lab test may be ordered to rule out other pathology. And now imaging of studies like CT scan of the head or MRI, and procedure, the Hall-Pike test along with the patient history acts in the diagnosis of benign proximal positional vertigo and made more sensitive frontal glasses and video Google. So these are the diagnostic tools of the vertigo. So diagnosis positive consists of burst of nystagmus, jumping of the eye jump upward as well as twist, so that to part of the eye jump toward downside. Look in the diagram. And another test for diagnosis is electronystagmography. It is also called ENG. Measure of nystagmus. So magnetic resonance imaging, it is also called MRI. So a scan, a stroke or brain tumor is suspected. An uncommon 5% benign proximal positional vertigo in both ears. It is a bilateral BPP. So management of the vertigo, wait it out, office treatment, home treatment, and surgical treatment. These are the 4 points of the treatment. No active treatment, wait and see. Subside, disappear within 2 months of onset. So modifications in daily activities, use 2 or more pillows at night, avoid sleeping on the bedside. In the morning, get up slowly, may last for much longer than 2 months, so active treatment. And medications, so you can give the patient antiemetics, antihistaminic, anticholinergic, and office treatment of benign positional vertigo, the Epile maneuver, very effective with roughly on 80% cure rate. So Epile maneuver, the treatment of choice for benign proximal positional vertigo, also known as CRP, canolith repositioning procedure. So it is a contraindicated in the case of severe neck disease, high-grade carotid stenosis, best performed after Hall-Pike, patient position, series of steps, slowly move the otoconia, particles, and post semicircular back into the utricle. 1 week after the procedure, the Hall-Pike test is repeated. So this is the apply maneuver. You look in the diagram, it is showing the apply maneuver, how to do the apply maneuver, showing in the diagram. So inner ear right side, you look in the arrow is going on A, You look in the A, diagram A, then you look B, then C, then D, then E, then F. So these are the apply maneuver, which is a very effective in the treatment of benign proximal positional vertigo. The instruction: wait for 10 minutes after the maneuver is performed before going home. Sleep semi-recoupment for the next night for at least 1 week. Avoid provoking head position. At 1 week after treatment, put yourself in the position that usually make you dizzy and wear a neck brace for 24 hours. Not bend down, lay flat 24 hours. So this is the instruction post apply maneuver. So now surgery. Surgery is the singular neurectomy and vestibular nerve sections and posterior canal plugging procedure. So this is the surgical treatment of benign proximal positional vertigo. So now come to the vestibular neuritis. So look in the diagram. So in this diagram, I can't take having vertigo anymore. I am going to end it all. So now definition: sudden, spontaneous, isolated, total or subtotal loss of efferent vestibular input from one labyrinth. And commonest cause syndrome of spontaneous vertigo. And pathophysiological sense is spontaneous. And vestibular neuritis, peripheral vestibulopathy, epidemic vertigo. This is the definitions of neuritis. And terminology: neuritis means inflammation affects vestibular branch of the vestibulocochlear nerve, resulting in dizziness or vertigo, but no change in the hearing. The term neuritis is also used, and same is labyrinthitis, inflammation of the labyrinth. Occur, infection affect both branches of the nerve, resulting in hearing changes as well as dizziness or the vertigo. So now etiology of neuritis is viral infections in vestibular nerve and selected neural loss, vestibular ganglion and sensory, and latent infection, superior inferior vestibuloganglion. And you look in the diagram, they are showing the vestibular nerve in the diagram, and nerve group is a cochlear nerve and semicircular canal. So vestibular neuritis may be preceded by symptoms of a common cold, acute localized ischemia. So natural history, attack become sequentially shorter. Vertigo symptoms usually resolve over few days. Residual imbalance, a month. And in sex, studies have shown no consistent male or female predominance. Age, middle age adult, mean age of onset is 41 years. So clinical features of neuritis. So history, abrupt onset of severe debilitating vertigo with associated steadiness, nausea and vomiting. Sense that either patient or their surroundings are spinning. Vertigo increased in head movement. The classical presentations, dramatic, sudden onset of vertigo and vegetative symptoms, and dizziness, last days, gradual definitive improvement throughout course, violence related complaint for month after resolution of acute disease, no subjective change in hearing or focal neurologic complaint. So this is the classical presentations of neuritis. So other tests, audiological test like pure tone audiogram. So there is no hearing changes. And diagnostic matrix, hearing loss present in episodic vertigo is Meniere's disease and perilymph fistula, or vestibular crisis like labyrinthitis, and hearing loss absent in the case of benign proximal positional vertigo and vestibular neuritis. There is no hearing loss. So another test is electronystagmography. You look in the diagram, it is a device. So add little clinical observation and quantifications of nystagmus, permanent record, divide into the oculomotor test, positional and positioning test, and the caloric test. And caloric tests, you look, contribute little. Showing in the diagram, it is a caloric test, and misleading results and demons and paresis 3 to 4 days after the onsets. So now management of the neuritis, medication, H1 receptor antagonists, suppress vestibular response, though an effect on the CNS, central nervous systems, like diphenylhydramine. And for prophylaxis, nausea and vomiting in adult, 25 to 50 milligram PO, 6 to 8, not to exceed 400 milligram, and 10 to 100 milligram IV, IM if required, not to exceed more than 400 milligram. And the pediatric dose is 12 to 5 to 25 milligram PO divided TID or QID. So this is the management of neuritis and labyrinthitis. And Maclay-Jean antivert, it decreases excitability, middle ear labyrinth, and blocks conduction in middle ear vestibular cerebellar pathway. So adult 25 to 50 milligram PO, not to exceed 100 milligram. Pediatrics 12 years not to established, and more than 12 years administer as in adult. And then second drug is a promethazine. It is also called Phenargan, for symptomatic treatment of nausea, vestibular dysfunction. Adult 12.5 milligram PO, PR, TID, 25 milligram HS, or 25 milligram IV, IM repeat, and soon possible in pediatrics. And 2 years is in the age of 2 years is a contraindicated. So this is the antiemetic drug like antivert and the Phenargan. So now the diazepam like Valium, Diastat, and Digimols, most commonly used in the benzodiazepine to treat the vertigo, centrally inhibit vestibular response, presumably potentiating inhibitory GABA receptors. And then lorazepam, it is a sedative hypnotics with short onset of effects and relatively long half-life in adult. 1 to 10 milligram. It is a divided BID dose or TID dose. And then anticholinergic agent centrally by suppressing the conduction vestibular cerebral pathway, and transdermal may be most effective agent of the motion sickness used in vestibular neuritis limited by its slow onset of the actions. So now labyrinthitis. So it is a circumscribed labyrinthitis, serous labyrinthitis, and purulent labyrinthitis. These are three types of the labyrinthitis. And vestibulotoxic drugs like aminoglycosides, antihypertensives, and labyrinthine sedatives, diuretics, estrogen preparations, and anti-malarials, and chemotherapeutic agents. These are the drug which is a vestibulotoxics. Now another cause is a head trauma. Head trauma, concussions of the labyrinth, disruptions of the bony labyrinth, damage to the eighth nerve, and peripheral fistula. These are the causes of head trauma. And then perilimb fistula. So it is because of post-stapedectomy operations or ear surgery or barotrauma or raised intracranial tension. Intracranial trauma. So this is the cause of perilimb fistula. And then syphilis, acquired and congenital, hypermobile foot plate, and positive fistula sign. And then acoustic neuroma. So vestibular schwannoma, other tumors like glomus tumors, and carcinoma of the external auditory canal or middle ear. So these are the disease which cause the vertigo. And central vestibular disorder. Central vestibular disorder. So vestibulovascular insufficiencies. So more than 50 years, transient decrease in blood flow, atherosclerosis, and neck movement, vertigo abrupt, last several minutes associated with nausea and vomiting, and other neurological symptoms present. So it is a vestibulovascular insufficiency. And posterior inferior cerebral artery syndrome like Wallenberg syndrome and thrombosis of Pica, vertigo associated with diplopia, dysphagia, hoarseness, Horner syndrome, and horizontal and rotatory nystagmus. So these are the causes of posterior inferior cerebral artery syndrome, Wallenberg syndrome, thrombosis, vertigo associated with diplopia, and horizontal and rotatory nystagmus. And bacillar migraine. So it is because of vascular syndrome, intense thrombing occipital unilateral headache associated with visual disturbances, diplopia, vertigo, last for 5 to 16 minutes, common in adolescent and menstrual relationship and positive family history. So this is a cause of bacillar migraine. And cerebral disease like hemorrhage, infarctions and tumors. And then another is a multiple sclerosis like demyelinating disease, young adult, associated with other neurological symptoms, sign like visual disturbance, dysarthria, paresthesia, ataxia, and pendular nystagmus. And tumors of the brain stem, fourth ventricle. See, the commonest tumors are glioma and astrocytomas, medulloblastoma, epidemoma, epidermoid cyst, and teratoma. These are the tumors which cause the central vertigo, vestibular insufficiency. And last is epilepsy, vertigo as in the aura. Then cervical vertigo. Vertigo 7 to 10 days after the cervical trauma, provoked by neck movements, tenderness in the neck, spasm of cervical muscles, limitations of the neck movement, and vestibulobacillar circulation disturbances. So these are the cause cervical vertigo. So other causes are like ocular vertigo, psychogenic vertigo, ocular and psychogenic vertigo. So these are the vestibular disorder like central and peripheral. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.